So since we have chickens coming back in a couple days, we are going to be putting out feed. My mom ended up setting up all the barns during the day while we were at our day jobs. So it's the weekend now, of course. So we are going to be putting out feed. So I'll show you a little bit of a montage of putting out feed. Hope you enjoy. So you guys see this thing right here? This is what you call a stenicator, and it's basically, we use it to inject cleaner into the birds' water lines for when they're going out, so we can clean out the water lines. And then we can also inject some electrolytes when it's hot outside. But anyways, the reason why we're working on it is it's a little electric motor in there, and that motor went out, and they don't sell the motors, do they?
Well, they might. I couldn't find them. I didn't call them. It still works, it just moves to the side and it won't engage. We just bought a new one and we've got 10 of these all together. So we've got one over at the other farm that needs work, so we decided just to buy a new one, replace it, and then use this one for parts, because the only thing wrong with it was the motor. We're going to try to swap it out easy. You're too young to know all the movies when the bomb or MacGyver, when they were getting ready, the bomb was getting ready to go off down to the last second, and which wire are you supposed to cut? Red or blue or black and red? Come on. You can do it. You can do it.
It ain't gonna do it. Does none of the wiring mess with it?
I don't know. See, it's clicking in there.
Cut. So we got the new stenicator installed here. So the way this thing works is, obviously we use it to inject cleaner into the lines or other stuff if we wish to. But the way that it reads how much to inject is it puts in an ounce per 128 ounces, which in the US, that'd be a gallon. So every gallon of water that passes through there injects an ounce of whatever we have selected. And the way it figures that out is, you see this little thing right here. It's a meter, of course. So it's wired up to the syndicator, and every time this thing turns to represent a gallon going through, it sends a pulse through the wires we just wired up, which goes to the syndicator, which tells the syndicator to rotate to pump an ounce of our selected product into the lines. And the way that this thing works is, it's on a wheel right here, so that wheel turns around and it rubs on that tube, and it's hard to explain. You guys saw it a little bit, but it creates a suction, which then one line runs into our barrel right here for whatever product we have selected, and the other line comes out and goes into the line right here, which then you can see it follows up and goes into the barn. And welcome back today, guys. As you can see, it's dark outside already and it's raining. Like, how bad of a day could that be? It's already raining and it's dark outside. But good thing we have a shop with some nice lights, because we got a little bit of some work to do tonight. You see this cart right here? This is what we use to put out feed in our chicken houses. And we use buckets, and we fill the buckets up out of this auger right here. And we have to hold the buckets. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of manual labor. And I'm a farmer. I don't know if you know, but farmers don't like doing manual labor. They prefer not to do any at all. So what we're going to do is, we are going to take and build a arm that can swing out and hover right over this pipe right here, and you can set a bucket on it, so that way your cart can fill up the bucket and I don't have to hold it. So for today, we have our engineering caps on. So this is what we're going to be doing right here. So you can see how we got this bar right here. So this is what's going to be holding the bucket so it can fill up. And then we have these 2 1/2-inch plates right here, and you got the bolt through the middle and they're drilled. So we're going to weld these plates to the frame rail of the cart right here, so that way this bar can swing in and out, so we don't have it sticking out the whole time when we're driving it down the road. We'll only be able to have it out when we need it, pretty much. So we got our little plates welded on right here, and we have a bolt hole on both these, so you can stick the bolt right through there for your arm and your plate, so that way you can hold the bucket. And then we welded these pieces of, what are these things called? Unistrut. We welded these pieces of Unistrut on right here, so that way it can hold, because here is our arm. Oh, this thing's heavy. But it will will hold our plate, our arm, so that way when this thing is in transport mode, we don't have to worry about anything getting ripped off down there or when we're turning sharp with the tractor. So in total, the reason why we did this, actually not because we just don't like manual labor, it is because we have 840 feed trays to fill up, and we use 5-gallon buckets, and this thing runs down the middle of the barn, fill up a 5-gallon bucket, walk to the sides, fill up the trays. A 5-gallon bucket will only fill up 3 trays. So if you do the math, what is that math? I done forgot the numbers.
If you got 3 people, it came out to 93 buckets a person.
So that means you are standing under here 93 times filling up a bucket. So when we just have 3 people,
so yeah, 93 times holding a bucket up. And these buckets do like a little over 3, but usually a bucket will hold 42 pounds of ground feed. I know that because when we did hogs and I did our own feed, I had to, before I put scales on the gravity cart, I had to weigh the buckets. And so 42 pounds, so I knew how many buckets I needed to get my poundage right, my ratio right. But anyway, so 93 times sitting here holding a bucket up in the air to where you can set it down and take a little rest.
Or when it's just 3 of us, we have more than 3 buckets we can use. We could set a bucket on that plate and let Alex, our tractor driver, be filling it up, my little sister. And don't worry, she is well supervised because both my parents are in there with us, and trust me, she needs the supervision. But she can be filling up that bucket, and then when one of us gets back, we can grab that other bucket and put ours back on there that's empty, so it can be a continuous cycle for efficiency. And we have not tested this thing, so there may be modifications made.
We feel like if we put a bucket on there, it may want to walk. So there may have to be a lock put on there so it doesn't rotate.
And just to clarify, I'm sure a lot of you guys will comment, my dad was not wearing a hood while I was welding. You know what he did? He closed his eyes or looked away. It's as simple as that. But he is skilled enough at welding where if he's tacking something on, he's able to close his eyes and pull the trigger, and he's able to feel the wand and do it that way. Maybe one day I'll be talented enough to do that, but that day is not today. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next video, I got a really big surprise for you guys, but you'll have to wait till next video. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, Faith Family Farm. See you in the next one.